Night morning to you, watching and listening to Breakfast with Stephen and Anne.
Time to go through the papers with former Conservative advisor Claire Pearsall and political consultant Emma Burnell.
Morning to you both.
Right.
Let's start with something jolly, should we? Interest rates are going to rise.
Oh no, I thought you really were going to start with something jolly.
No.
They are, however, it looks like they're going to go up to 3%, the base rate, but actually mortgage experts, so this is actually jolly news,
Oh
because mortgage experts are saying that they think that the banks, etc., have already factored in this rise, so it's not looking like our mortgages will rise, which is the key thing with interest
Do you
rates.
think why not use it as an excuse?
Well, I mean, there is always that, but actually they've got this huge backlog because of all the mortgages that they had to suddenly turn around or reject or change. So it looks like they probably won't on this one occasion.
But it means everything else goes up, doesn't it?
But everything else goes up, so it's not totally good news. But we have had, I mean, fundamentally, we've had incredibly low mortgage rates for well over a decade.
But we've got used to it as
And
well.
we
That's
have
the
got.
trouble.
The problem is not only have we got used to, we've all banked on it. Those of us who got our mortgage during the last 10 years, which is going to be an awful lot of people, are going to find it really, really hard if things go up so considerably. You always factor in maybe a little bit extra when you renegotiate, but this kind of extra is going to be very hard for a lot of people.
And the real problem is younger people who are looking to get on the ladder for the first time, paying most of their salaries out in rent. The houses aren't being built for them in the first place, so the supply and demand.
And rent is so high in some places that you can't save for a deposit, so you can't see a way out of it.
Absolutely.
I did drive past a building site the other day, yesterday I think it was, and they were saying on the billboards outside, we will pay your 5% deposit. Now, that, I don't know, 5% seems low for a deposit these days. But that's what happened with my first flat. It was one of those companies, and they said, we'll pay your deposit. They basically just take it off the
And it
price.
worked.
Yeah, it worked. I mean, I bought a two-bedroom flat for £55,000. It's quite a long time ago.
Those are the days.
Yes.
But, you know, it's...
But the problem is now is that you're looking at a flat that's probably 300,000. So 5% of that is not a huge amount. You've still got to raise a lot in a mortgage. And who is going to lend at the moment to that level? That's the other side of it. And it's
so we've got depressed salaries, raising rents. It's just, I wouldn't.
And the economic forecasts are. The economic forecasts are so terrifying that you feel you couldn't take the plunge as a first-time buyer. I think you'd be worried.
As a Labour person, I just wonder what David Mellor was saying, and he made a really valid point in saying, with all these strikes and negotiations over pay and all the rest of it, you can understand why people want more pay. That if you start putting all the pay up out of the public purse to inflation or near inflation, all that will actually achieve is inflation's going to keep getting higher.
I mean, that's the argument that people put, that this is that was the problem in the 70s, that the wage inflation drove price inflation. But actually, we haven't had wage inflation. We've had absolutely stagnant wages for a decade, and yet we have price inflation. So I think it's a very hard argument to make to very low paid.
Well, that's what all the striking unions are saying at the moment, isn't it? Can we get a little happier now and talk about the birds and the bees? Who wants to take us away with the birds first of all?
I think that's Emma's bird.
Emma, tell us about birds.
Seeing birds officially makes you happier.
I can believe it.
Which is
seeing birds.
Hearing birds in particular, bird song makes us happier. Now,
Chirpy, cheep.
So I'm going to be singing that all day, Stephen. Thank you very much for that. But yeah, bird song genuinely lifts the mood. There's been a study that proves that, and I think that's, in part, I think it's to do with the particularly joyous sound of birdsong, but also there's just that sense that we're part of one planet, part of nature. Even in the heart of a city, you hear birdsong everywhere.
It is lovely to hear birdsong. Okay, so what about the bees?
Now this is a really good story about bumblebees, just like humans, like to play. And this in particular, there was a bumblebee enjoyed rolling balls for no apparent reason other than just for fun. So it was just one of those sort of very funny things that animals have that sense of fun and playtime, and they're not just there.
I mean, it's great, isn't it? Animals and humans, we all love to play with balls.
Well, actually, that is. But I always find that astonishingly funny. When there are the most dismal, grim reports from Syria or from places in India where nobody's got anything, they throw in a ball into the mix and the kids all start playing.
That's it.
It's just
It doesn't have to
It
be
is.
some super toy, the biggest Christmas craze. Actually, simple pleasures. I used to love playing those tennis ball games. Wonderful.
And there is a picture of these bees that they were studying.
Yes.
Presumably they were little, tiny. Oh look. Now,
This is just the best thing.
the benefit of those listening on the radio, this bee is playing with a ball that's roughly the same size as the bee. And it is like the way we play, as you say, with beach balls or those exercise balls.
I'm impressed at how it does it.
It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It's clearly getting something from it, isn't
You
it?
see, it's funny. I mean, they are not intelligent creatures as we see intelligence, but they are nevertheless sort of intelligent, aren't they? And they're very,
They
very
have a mass
structured.
intelligence, don't
A
they?
mass intelligence,
Yeah.
Yeah, they're
Hive
intelligent
intelligence.
as a
Hive
board,
intelligence,
yeah.
yes, it's like the Borg.
But I just think that's brilliant.
It's like the board.
Just
But they
That's the
together,
bees and the
together
Borg.
they are an amazing unit, aren't they?
Yes,
They
yeah.
achieve so much. But individually, that bee is really enjoying it.
He's having a whale of a time.
Exactly, for no apparent reason other than just rolling it around. There's no point to it, there's no purpose, whereas bees have a purpose in their hive life to create the
And they're all
honey.
doing it. They're all doing it.
Yeah.
But when you think of it, why are we so impressed with that? Because you look at lions on the plains, and the little baby lions are playing with their mums. They actually, and they're very playful with each
But there's
other.
a purpose to
I
that,
think
isn't there?
yes.
It's a hunting training and all that sort
It
of
is.
thing.
I don't think
yeah.
it's necessarily just impressed, but it's just joyous. I think it gives joy. And frankly, at the moment, let's give as much joy and get as much joy as we can.
Well, anyone who's got a pet knows a pet cat or dog or rabbit or whatever.
absolutely.
Yeah.
They love to be played with, and they get something real out of it, and they
absolutely.
smile at you for
But
it.
you also get something in return. I just spent hours watching the cats chasing each other around for no other reason than just they're chasing each other around, but it's the most hysterical thing that you can see.
Yeah.
And it just makes you feel so much better about life for that 5, 10, 15 minutes. I absolutely love it.
And if there was a bee on the side, all those bees were joining in then. If there was one set on the side, not joining in, you know what they'd say to it?
Go on.
Resistance is futile.
No, of course they would. Yes.
If you're
You have to be a
Star Trek.
Star Trek nut to know
Ah,
that.
there you go.
But we
See,
both
I'll
are.
give you that opportunity.
We talk Star Trek language sometimes. But we
Claire,
must be-
Emma, it's been great to see you.
Oh, thank you so
lovely.
much.
Thank you
Very
so much.
Indeed.
Thank you for bringing us a smile, because
Just
they're rare at the
say-
moment, aren't they?
Oh, tell me about it.